Sweet, sweet. We are live, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with Movers. We got myself, Dwyght Mack with Max Moving Training. We got Clifford Starks, the motivational coach. We got John Fasick joining us for the first time from Premier Movers for Less. What's going on, John?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, no problem. So how's the industry been treating you this year?
This year, wow, January was rough, but things are kind of picking back up. The holidays was kind of a tough year, but or a tough year for the holidays. But down in Florida, you can't complain with Florida market. It's a lot of people coming and going still. It's just everyone's money's a little tighter, but
Mhm.
we got to manage that. So yeah.
How do you, like I said, we're gonna have you in the hot seat today. So how do you compete in that ever-changing market of prices?
Yeah. One thing, uh, being a small company, I'm, right beside my salesperson every day. So I hear the conversation. So we're able to kind of, change pretty quickly. Also looking at our closing percentage and seeing if that's staying on par. But I mean, it comes in waves, though. It seems like it's sometimes seems like everyone in your markets drop their prices, and you're like looking around, like, what am I doing wrong? And then the next week, you're just booking. It feels like every call. So, I just try to listen to the customers and what they're saying. We really try to not push anyone away, and customize the move for what they need, because everyone wants something a little bit different. Either they want to save a little bit of money, or uh, they want help finding storage, or they want so trying to customize it to exactly what they want. If they're not wanting furniture wrap because they want to save money, giving them that option. uh, you know, which that has its own challenges from what
Hmm.
I've found, operationally, and which I know, Dwyght, you do a lot with the training manuals and stuff like that. Pretty interested, in what you guys do. I'm also very impressed, with Clifford. I was watching some podcasts last night, and had me fired up with one of the kind of speeches that you were going on. And but I digress. You know, just trying to be everything that you can be for your customers.
Yeah, makes sense. No, yeah, because I feel like when I was down that in that market or so like that, like you said, it almost feels like you having to do custom pricing, which, like you said, it does have its challenge, and I can see the challenge now where it's like the consistency. Like if your guys are not wrapping on one job because the customer doesn't want to pay for that wrapping, and then they go to another job and it's just like, well, hey guys, make sure this customer is paying for wrapping. Make sure you're wrapping good, and you're just like, well, we just want to get this job done. It's hot, especially in Florida. So it's like we just want to get this
Totally.
job done. The customer didn't complain. We'll drape some blankets over, and it's like, no, that's not how we professionally do it. You need to wrap it really well. And and that I felt like that was always the inconsistency with people wanting to be cheaper than the average customer. So do you find you having, I guess, lower your price from your standards to meet these customers' expectations?
We've been having that debate in our office. Is we try to have super simple pricing, just charging hourly for our labor and a one-time fee for the truck use for the day. And I know there are companies out there that charge for a lot of the little things,
Hmm.
and it does kind of seem like you got to go that way, and particularly when there's less leads coming in. And so, and something on that, something that was really interesting to me. I don't know if you guys have too much experience, but I got into the postcard game about I think, August of last year.
Okay.
And I had tried it before, it didn't work for me. And then like August, I signed up with a different company, and that like first month, 2 months, it was like phones were going crazy. And the last, months after that, the last 5 months, let's say, it's 12, 13 actual leads from all the postcards. So, the
Nice.
percentages are not there. But that's something that I think people talk in the industry, that it's like a great source, but it hasn't been so great for me to this point. But I'm definitely like a student of the game, though. I'm trying to always learn new things, learn. Um, who's the sales guru? Joe Polish is somebody that I've been kind of listening to a lot of his stuff on Spotify. So just always trying to learn and adapt, change our messaging. But yeah, and it comes back to, you want to present yourself and position yourself as this grandiose, like, perfect thing. But when the customers don't want to hear it and they want to say, well, the guy, I just called 3 other moving companies and they're charging, $99 an hour. That's our biggest challenge to combat and show your value. And so,
Gotcha. Well, we definitely got to get you to become a student of Max Move and Training. But ultimately, we got everybody. We do got too cool for school Phil in the building.
What's up, buddy?
Glasses.
Oh shit. Oh
uh,
shit. What's up, guys?
but no. So I
How you
get it.
doing, brother?
With every lead, you're gonna have that probably you might have that immediate spike in the beginning when everything looks good in the intro, and then it kind of starts to mellow off. Postcards were never really meant to be a high ROI. Well, not a high ROI, sorry, a high lead source. It was really meant to be like, hey, you send 1,000 postcards, maybe you get 20 people, 30 people to really respond. And maybe you book about 15 of those people, whatever the case is. But those 15 people you book is going to pay off, hopefully pay off all of that money you've spent on those 1,000 postcards.
Yeah, you can target those $1 million homes that are going to need more services. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where we're at with it too. It's like, well, we booked a few from there, but they've all been, relatively profitable job.
Mm-hmm.
So it sticks around. It stays, hasn't got cut. But what about Google Guaranteed is a big thing. I was actually listening to Wade's podcast just the other day, and he was talking to this guy Travis from an SEO company, and they were just kind of going in on the importance of the SEO game, which I really haven't gotten into that too much, but with Google Guaranteed, that's something that we're big into. But have you guys done much in SEO?
Yeah, I've done SEO for the last couple of years. I know Phil is doing his own in-house SEO. Proud of him. Proud of him. But yeah, no, SEO is great. It's one of those things you want to make sure you got all your marketing in order before you even do SEO, or have a very affordable budget for SEO, because a lot of people think that with SEO, they're going to get leads right away. It's not the case. It's usually about a 60-day turnaround. You might start to see some in 30, but like 60 to 90 days is when you're going to be very, very optimized to really start seeing those leads start to flow. So if you have Google Ads going and you have Google Guaranteed as a backup, the SEO is just one of those things that's just going to push you over the top.
What are you guys expecting coming up? Am I right? You're in New York, Dwyght, Clifford,
Yes, sir.
Arizona. Yeah, I've never been.
3 degrees on Monday.
I never have to worry about that.
Yeah, me neither. And neither does John now.
Oh yeah, he said Tampa. He ain't worried about that 3 degrees.
No, man.
Hey, don't forget you got to get the truck running at 3 degrees.
Oh yeah.
That's so many more problems I couldn't imagine, honestly. But I guess if you've been there your whole life.
Yeah, but the only thing is the thing I guess maybe I fell in love with, and because maybe I started in New York, was that with a moving company, even though I'm no longer in the moving game in that sense, but with a moving company, you can you're regulated in New York. So your prices are your prices, and you're not limited to what you can charge. You just have to report what you want to charge to the state, so that if anybody ever contests, oh well, he tried to rip me off, he tried to charge me this. They if they go to the board of DOT was like, oh no, he charged you correctly. This is his rates. So you kind of have somebody on your side in a sense, versus like with Florida is like, oh well, I charged this guy. I think he wanted a furniture delivery that was like 30 miles or 40-mile round trip or something like that. And I charged him $390 because I'm like, hey, fuel in 40 miles of Florida is deep. So I'm like, I'm gonna charge you about $390, and that's average. He was like, oh, $390, that's expensive. So then I went against the grain and I charged him $300, and I lost money, between all the fuel, all everything that went into it. And I'm just like, I should have held to my guns. But in New York, it's like, hey, we're gonna charge you that. Be lucky, because if we charge you a 3-hour minimum that we're supposed to charge you, you're gonna pay a whole lot more.
What about how seasonal is it? We're feeling, and so to be transparent, I guess I started this business in my business in 2019 in December, but I was still working a full-time job. So it took about 6 months before I, transferred doing it full time. So I guess I'm kind of going into my 4th year. So data hasn't been so great that first year. Second year, I kind of have a little bit better data. And then, this year I'm really kind of putting things together, to be honest, like, what I should expect month over month. But for up north, I hear such a almost tragedy of how slow it gets in the winter. We deal with so much fluctuation, so I can't imagine how much more difficult that must be.
Oh, it gets slow. It definitely gets slow, especially in January, February, where you might average maybe 15 to 20 jobs in a January. Or, February could be like, again, 15, 20 jobs. So it definitely gets slow. So it's just a matter of, getting through it. We try to work 6 days a week instead of 7 days a week so we can consolidate the jobs. But yeah, it's slow.
Yeah.
My computer's gonna go through an update, so trying to join off my phone before it does it.
We ain't been slow.
Been
busy, boy.
That's always been something.
No, I was just talking to Clifford. That's why I was late talking to Clifford now, man. He got me tangled up, man. And I always do my my good things I do on Saturday for people, man, on Saturday morning. So I was kind of rushing back, but in the Tampa market, man, I don't know why these guys do this, man. We shouldn't have a season, bro. We shouldn't have a season, right? I mean, we're in the vacation state, right? I mean, what would you say? 60% of our population, in their 70s, 60s, 70s, right? I mean, these people aren't moving themselves; they're moving though. Our problem is, man, we got a lot of transients coming down from other states, unfortunately. Of course, they're not wanting to deal with the snow no more, and they come down here and. They're movers. They're movers, right? And they can come down and cut costs, and rent a U-Haul and do it that way because they don't understand. They don't understand the Tampa market, right? They don't understand the Florida market. That, yeah, of course, it slowed down a little bit, right? It's definitely not summer, but we should stay steady in this Tampa market year round. You know, we shouldn't be out here hustling and bustling trying to compete with a guy that's charging $75 an hour, right? Like I was telling you, John, yesterday, you know, we put on our, you know, on our estimates now that we, you know, we price match, right? So when we get those things, I mean, we go back through those and we nitpick all the fine print for the customer. Like they're charging you $5 a mile starting at their location, wherever that might be at, because there's no address on here, right? And so they can pick anywhere their address is at. They can be 5 miles from you, and they'd be like, oh, where our trucks are parked at in Bradenton after they done booked the job. So now we're going to charge you $5 a mile to come from Bradenton all the way to Clearwater and back. You know, so that $99 an hour have now jumped up to like 170, 180 because it's a guy, man, and I'm sure he's not even on his forum or nothing. And I'm going to say it, and I'm sure you probably see his Facebook ad, Big Burns Moving, right? $99 an hour, right?
I've seen it. Yeah.
But see, this guy's not even, I mean, he's very, and we've called and got cold call quotes from him. I'm going to be honest with you, dude. He's very transparent about that $99 an hour. He puts it in the email for you too. So he's in Holiday, you know where that's at. And his time starts in the morning at his office, right? His time don't start. He GPS time back to his warehouse. So if you're in Tampa and moving to Bradenton, he's going to GPS time back. Plus, he's charging $3 a mile. Plus, he's charging $9 to $10 per step. He charges $85 for a running shrink wrap. He charges $5 for a moving blanket to use it. He charges, I mean, it's just ridiculous. $75 for a speed pack. I mean, I think it was $100 for a TV box. But these people, they focus on that $99 an hour. That's where their mind is at. Oh, well, you know, and of course, he's sending out some scrubs.
It's so funny.
It's
so funny. I've seen his ads on Facebook, and I want to pick up the phone. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like,
That's why he's doing it. That's why he's doing it. I mean, because he doesn't really have that bad of a reputation. Of course, not a perfect resume, but I mean, if you request a quote from him like we have, it's bold right there, right in your face. Boom, highlighted everything about how he charges. But of course, you see that $99 an hour, and you've already got quotes for 100 and 40, 150, 160, or whatever the case may be, and you're just thinking about, oh man, and he rounds to the next hour, bro. No quarter hour, not half hour, next hour.
Wow.
Like,
you can't make money charging $99 an hour. And I've seen it, and I've never actually spoke to him. But everything that I think, I know, we've had conversations, Phil, everything that we try to do to make things simple and easy for our customers. And then that, is totally reverse. And but he probably puts all that in the email because he's getting yelled at every single day from people saying, hey, I thought this move was going to cost me $200.
Well,
800.
Well, I think it is this. Hold on, I think I'm echoing. No, so I was going to say, go ahead.
I do like that color. That's blue. That's our brand color.
Okay. So no, I was going to say, I think that is it's a strategy that could work. As long as he said his price starts at $99. So it is keywords, and then basically let people know that, hey, you know what, here's your estimated price versus, well, hey, here's the initial price when we get in the door. It's going to be $500 just to get in the door.
You don't give estimated times. No estimated time, just hourly rate plus all the charges. That's it. Yeah, no estimated. I mean, remember the one other person we had on the show, he did the same thing. He lets me and John was talking about this yesterday. Why would you let your client determine how long the job takes? Why would you tell a client, well, you know how much stuff you got and how long it should take as a professional, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not overcomplicating this, but for me, man, our job is not only just to move your stuff. Our job is also as a coordinator as well of course, we're all in it to make a profit, but you have to fill out your client as well to know, okay, do they have $5,000 to move across town?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they have $2,000? Right? So of course, each client is going to get moved. Right? I mean, they're going to get moved. A $2,000 client, a $5,000 client, $500 client is going to get moved. Somebody's going to move them. Right? So, I mean, right now with everybody penny pinching, bro, I mean, it's just around the board, man. Everybody, and it's unfortunately in our industry, a name has got tarnished so bad. It's like car salesman, right? That whole deal with the car salesman, man. The moving industry has got a tarnished name so bad. So when you're transparent with a customer and you say, listen, this is my estimated time, when you know it's going to take that much time, some people hold back and be like, you know what? Instead of telling them 10 hours, I'm going to tell them 6 to 8. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell them 6 to 8, right? Knowing it's a 10-hour job. Know it. You know what I mean? So, and of course, when we send our transparent quotes over, customers are thinking they're going to have to pay 30, 40% more, if not more.
True.
There are, and you know what? I got that from several clients, because a lot of clients of ours have turned into my friends. Not a lot, some. And a lot of the people that turned into my friends that I talk to, play pickleball with, they say, you know what, actually, on the other side of the stick, we thought we were going to have to pay anyway 30, 40, 50, 60% more. Right? Because once again, what is it? An estimate, right? And so sometimes being transparent sometimes is also it's a kick in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, you can lose clients, definitely. And too much information overload for clients. And then they just default $99, starting at $99 an hour. Sounds real sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a lot of guys that do it, man. Even down to $75 an hour. And then you start competing with guys on U-Haul helper.
No, you ain't not
like, oh man, and it's bad, bro, because people are calling like, oh, well, I got some quotes. Like, where did you get your quote? Oh, U-Haul helper, ma'am, you should have stopped there.
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst when you hear customers saying, "Hey, I've seen your prices on U-Haul helper," where they're like, this, and this, but what you're telling me is this price. Well, that's a whole different service. That's you getting the truck. That's our guys doing this, doing that. Yeah, pretty much that's that. But if you're going to go through us directly, and we're bringing the truck and we're doing this, it's going to be a whole different ball game. There's no way the price is going to be the same. But hey, I've seen guys on there, like I think we were on Hire Helper. And Hire Helper, I think we were like 18th highest price on there, because the lowest price was like two guys, 3 hours for like $275, $400, like some ridiculous amount of money. And Hire Helper takes 29% of your earnings for that job. So I'm like, there's no way I'm charging that little and making even worse than that when I get the end amount. So we used to charge our price. We would charge our price plus 29%. So when they took the 29% off, hopefully it offset. So we made what we needed to make. I in a Facebook group I just seen the other day or yesterday, there was people talking about deposits. hey, I'm just starting to take deposits. What's a good amount to take for a deposit? And some people are like, oh, we take $25 or we take $50 or we take this. And I'm just like, I used to be in that game where I used to take $50 and realize that $50 did nothing.
Yeah.
And people canceled on you, you were out. Or if they didn't want to pay you because they changed their credit card information and you only had $50 to go off of while you went through a credit card dispute, it was nothing. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. So New York State gave us the go ahead to charge up to 25% of their original estimate that you gave them. So at first I thought that we was gonna get a lot of kickback with that. But right off the rip, hey, your estimate is 25, your deposit's gonna be 25% of your estimate. Oh, well, if your bill is $1,000, you're paying $250 for your deposit. Okay, no problem. Is that gonna go towards the final balance? Yeah, it'll go towards the final balance. If we get done sooner, you'll pay whatever that time is, the remaining balance. And customers didn't have no kickback towards it. They knew, hey, what it was. Is it refundable? Yes. If you cancel, and New York State, it makes me angry for this part. But in New York State, customers have up to 24 hours to cancel their service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that does make me a little upset because I'm like, God damn. They done paid $3,000, and obviously sometimes we do spend this unearned revenue on payroll or whatever the case is, and then come 24 hours before the move. Oh yeah, something fell through. We're gonna have to cancel. Can I get that $3,000 back? God damn it! Let me find that 3,000 somewhere.
Yeah, we started right in the first year charging at least a deposit, because if you don't have it, people aren't serious. If you don't have some money, they're not serious. So you have to charge something. I've seen posts like that too on the Facebook groups, and it's like, man, if you don't charge something, you're just going to be spinning your wheels on some days, because people would rather have that verbal. Probably some of the companies that want to charge $99 an hour probably are the same people that wouldn't get a deposit because they just, they're going to take anything. But that's a tough way of doing business. I tried also hire a helper for a little bit. Another tough way to do business unless you're going to be able to cut some corners somehow. Mm-hmm. Because you on board with them and they say, hey, if you want any business from Hire Helper, you're going to want to be one of the lowest 3 prices in here, is how they onboarded me.
Unless you got great reviews. Now we were number 3 in highest reviews. So
did it for a while.
Yeah. So even if we were 18 in price, we were number 3 in review. So it's like, hey, do you want somebody that's not even in the top 5, servicing you for a cheap price, or do you want somebody that's going to charge you a little bit more but have great reviews?
Yeah, we got into it late, I guess, but and so we were never able to raise our prices past something like, I think at max we were at 120, 110 an hour for 2 guys, and like 2-hour minimum. So, $220 to send a couple guys out there. And I don't know, it was a few years back.
That's why I think Florida is so tough, because I'm like, we're going to charge what we charge. And it's like, either you want it or you don't want it. We'll get some kickback at first, but it's like, if you do a great job, you make sure that those customers give you a review on Hire Helper or Moving Help or something, or those channels, make sure they give you a review. The jobs just start to trickle in. We had, I think when we was on Moving Help, we had over like 500 and something reviews. And, we were up there. But the thing is, Moving Help algorithm changed. And that's what a lot of these companies are doing. Their algorithms are changing, which is then lowering the jobs for us, because technically a customer that was like 5 miles from my office or 1 mile from my office, when they look for moving helpers in their area, they should see you. But instead, with Moving Help, now it got so weird where they're seeing people in New Hampshire pop up first because they either had a cheaper price or, whatever the case was. And it's just like, how is somebody that's right next door to me, I can't service because I don't pop up on their radar, but somebody in New Hampshire that's, you know, an hour away pops up above me. And I'm like, you can't compete with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. But you bring up some different stuff that I hadn't thought about with that. But yeah, I just found that onboarding process when they, you know, kind of nudge you to make sure you're one of the cheapest prices. But you know, so basically to compete against maybe guys like yourself that have, you know, 500 reviews, you have to, you know, give away your services to. There's definitely times guys are not making money because, you know, movers these days themselves, the guys that are on the truck, you know, they don't want 14, 15 bucks an hour. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't, you got to put out a good product of, you know, trained person. So it's, yeah, I found that one to be difficult, that and Angie's and those things. But for me, you know, my business, you know, over the last 3 years has been a lot of that trial and error. And it's just been, you know, try this for a few months, see if it's working. Angie's, we got locked into a contract and, you know, got, felt really, really like that was a drain on the company funds.
Oh yeah. I think
You know,
Phil might have mentioned something similar that he got trapped as well. And I was like, you know, when they called me and they said, "Hey, how would you like to get more leads? How would you like to do this?" And I was like, "I heard about you. I'm not interested." And it's like, "What do you mean you heard about us?" And they wanted to go through a whole spiel. Ma'am, you don't have to go through it. I heard enough. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. Y'all locking people in a year contracts? Nope, don't want to do it.
yeah, yeah. The same thing that you mentioned, though. It started out, we started spending like 600-700 bucks a month with them, and it was that initial like wave, like, wow, this is really great. Business was flowing in, we were making good money. Signed the next contract, upped it to close to 2 grand a month advertising with them, and it just, you know, plateaued, and it was, you know, decreasing ever since I signed that next year of agreement with them. And to the point, yeah, it felt like an anchor around your neck, and you're just like, I want to spend this 2 grand on something that's going to be worthwhile. And yeah, so we got out
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, no, if you can definitely, there are a lot of lead providers. If you do go to my, happen to go to my website, maxmovingtraining.com, and look in the resource center, you're going to be able to see a lot of lead providers that you can try out. My whole thing is give everything a 90-day shot, but start low. Start with like $100 to $200 budget. See, you know, see how many leads you're getting for that $200 budget. Now, Quote Runner, I think they did go up in price point. It's no hidden secret. So even if somebody hear me from there, you know, it is what it is. You know, they did go up in price point. I think they used to be like $8 a lead or something like that. And now I think it's could be anywhere up to $16 a lead, which is just ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm.
Equate Media went up as well. But a lot of these lead providers are doing like direct lead thing now, this direct lead campaign, where if they can get the person on the phone, it's like they'll almost transfer that lead over to you. And then basically it's for you to close that lead, but that cost can be anywhere up to like $75 a lead.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, yeah, it's guaranteed yours. This person is definitely interested. We vetted this person, so they're, you know, it's not like they're a bad lead, but it's now up to you to be like, okay, the pressure's on. $75. Can I close this deal?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. That's a Google guaranteed lead. Right now in Tampa, it's around $70 a phone call when they come in through Google guaranteed. And but yeah, that's where we're at. A lot of tire kickers with that
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. So I think that's probably why we feel the pressure sometimes to adjust and customize to that particular customer's needs, and, you know, forget about your normal minimums, you know, the 2 hour minimums here in Tampa for, you get somebody that wants a little, you know, two-piece move or something like that. Um, I'm fascinated and in awe of the larger moving companies that tell me, or I see on Facebook groups, like 3-hour minimum, no matter what. And anytime I bring that up to a client, it just seems like they're like, no matter what, I'm gone, I'm out the door.
Yeah. Well, trial and tribulations, I would say try. So we call it delivery service. Anything 3 pieces or under is considered delivery services. So, but we're going to hold you to it. We're going to say, hey, if you're moving a single sofa, a mattress, and a box, those are considered 3 pieces. Now, if you got 5 boxes and just those 2 furniture pieces, it's not 3 pieces anymore. So we're going to hold you to it because, hey, we're going to give you a massive kind of like discount where we're like, hey, we're going to charge you this much for 3 pieces or less. But now, like I said, some people like to get over. Oh, well, I only had 2 more boxes, or I only had 1 more other piece that I just need to bring, and they wanted to charge me this. Well, hey, that's why you have to have it in writing. We're going to charge you almost half of what we would have charged you for a 2 or 3 hour minimum. So we expect that you're going to at least be honest to us and have 3 pieces or less.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to throw a question out at you guys because I am a student and I am impressed with what you guys have going on in your businesses. And so my situation, I've got, so like I said, about 3 years now, we're going into our 4th year. And that during that first year, I brought on a mover that wanted to do more. And so he quickly, within like 6 months, became a salesperson for us. And so he's been on sales up until this point. He just got a job offer. He's going to go make $100K unlimited commission with the software company. I can't really compete with his offer. So, but he's seen the company go from, billing $20,000, $20,000 a month to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. And he's been that integral part. And so we're a 2-man operation besides our crews, me and him. And so he's going away in the next week, and I'm contemplating, what's our next best move? Like a salesperson? Is it, administrative person? I mean, obviously it kind of depends on strengths and weaknesses, I think. But have you guys had any similar things when you're losing a key person, and how do you evaluate and, how you can yourself?
I would say all the time, you're always going to lose a key person, especially a person that started the company with you or felt like he started with you.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, did you build systems around that person? Did you kind of like utilize that time when they were developing themselves to say, hey, you know what if this person leaves? That's crucial. Or, with this person leaving, if you haven't had a chance to build the systems, you could outsource your sales for right now. Now, obviously, it is more expensive outsourcing your sales, because some of these companies like OneQ, Mover Sales, Movies, some of these companies like those will charge you about a good 14, 15% for every job that they book, which is kind of hefty. But you can almost guarantee that you're going to get, more sales. Your revenue is going to quadruple, but so will your expense follow as well. So if you don't have a process, that's probably going to be the better way to go, so you don't skip a beat. But if you have a process and you can onboard another sales rep, that's going to probably be the best bet, to onboard another sales rep, make sure they go through this process, get them up and running probably within a week's time, so that they can start booking moves. Or if you know that he's got about 2-3 weeks before he leaves, try to get a new sales rep in there maybe a week or 2 weeks before he leaves, so that he could kind of show them the ropes, and you could kind of work with them as well, so that, again, you don't skip a beat.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I was with OnQ at one point, and they did offer that service. I did think it was kind of steep, but I mean, if they're that good, I don't know. It's a worry, right? Google guaranteed, and like you mentioned with Quote Runner, if you're paying $70 a lead, and then you gotta really depend. You gotta have some control over that. But I think, Dwyght, you mentioned that you were doing some virtual assistants too? That seems to be a very popular thing.
So there are virtual assistants in the Philippines. If you have your processes dialed in,
Yeah.
you can get a virtual rep for about $8 an hour and basically pay them little to nothing. Like I think I had a virtual sales rep that I was paying like almost $300 every couple of weeks, and that was 80 hours of work. And they were great. They were hitting their numbers because at the end of the day, hey, you have your sales targets. You cannot be blinded and say, well, hey, I got this person in the door. As long as they book, they're good. You have to say, well, hey, I expect that you're going to be booking $30,000 this month or $40,000 this month. You got the training, you understand the processes, you have the tools. If you're not booking 30 to 40,000, then I'm gonna have to start looking for another rep. And I'll give you, and I was generous, I'll give you up to 90 days to get your stuff together because I know you got to get acclimated with the system. So that'll be the first month. The second month, I expect that you improve from the first month. And the third month, if you didn't hit your 40, 50, $60,000 by that month, then you're not gonna cut it.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, to be honest. I think that could be an option in certain instances. Yeah. I'm kind of looking at where our revenue is. Like I know that particular person that's leaving was a pretty high salary, and I'm kind of tinkering that idea. Like, do you just go with administrative help, something not as high salary, do more sales stuff yourself? But if we're starting to come into a season, if we're starting to come into a busy time, you got to be ready to roll. So I guess that's where my thinking is.
I would say try the virtual route if you don't need a person in the office. If you don't really need them in the office and you can do the Zoom calls, you can do, Gmail chats, whatever the case is, try it, because at the end of the day, if you was paying your sales, let's say we were paying our sales reps like uh something like $600 a week or whatever the case is, four to $500 a week. And then we would pay them like a 6 to 7% commission. Like they were really high. So at some months they were getting like an extra $2,000, $2,500 on top of their normal check. And we're like, oh, this is getting out of hand. Like it's not sustainable. And I know some people pay a whole lot more. But then when you get that rep overseas where you're like, oh, I'm only paying them $8 an hour, $300 a week, every 2 weeks. I'm sorry, $300 every 2 weeks. Yeah, I can afford to pay them an extra, $500-$600 as a commission bonus, because that $500-$600 to them is a lot of money.
Yeah, that's cool.
But Phil, on your end, I guess what's your take on losing a key employee? You got your mic on mute.
You're muted.
My bad. Oh yeah, you really want my take on that?
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. I lost, and it was very difficult. One gentleman that has been working for us for 8 years. I eventually had to part ways with him last month, and I pondered that for about 2 years. 2 years, I was just kind of fed up, young guy, trying to get benefit of the doubt, but now they're starting. It's becoming easier and easier for me to, as a business owner, not just for the moving industry, for other industries that I'm in as well. It's easier now to see people trying to better themselves in your case and saying, okay, let me adjust my business now than it was. It's definitely an adjustment. Now, I don't know, all the keys, like Dwyght was saying that, the young man was playing, but hopefully you had some systems in place where you can say, hey, you know what, let me take, or if you have someone to promote within, because it may be an opportunity for you to say, because sometimes when you get a sales guy, the sales guy he can also be a backup as well when a mover don't show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he could be the third backup, right? So it could, I guess it could go one or two ways. Try to promote within. See if you got a guy out in the truck, you know, that's been working hard, showing up on time, that you know he's smart, you can train him, right? So it may be an opportunity for you to capitalize on it. Sometimes what seems so bad actually is actually a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? So
Phil need to get Phil need to get a hit on his hand talking about sending your sales guy out in the field.
I'll
He
send
need
his
to
ass
he
out
need to
there.
he need to stay in the office.
They
I'm in
know.
that boat. I'm in that boat.
They know, bro, that and this is how my formulas ran. And I've always been a working guy, bro. I'm never too big to go out anywhere. Nowhere. I go, you know, I go out to my property and I cut my own grass sometimes, cut down trees and shit. Can I pay somebody to do it? Yes, I want to do it. Could I pay someone to do my SEO? But I was just talking to Clifford about this. A guy told me that I had to have education to get my SEO on the first page. It wasn't possible for us to do it. And I told you, I'm going to show you how a guy with a middle school education get it done. Right? I'm a working guy. I'm a working class guy. I'll get out in the truck. I'll get out in the truck today and work. I'll change my whole outfit right now. Go out in the truck and move furniture. So anybody that I'm bringing in this office, they ask better be prepared. If your ass need to go out in that truck, you need to go. Because guess what? I'm probably going to go with you. You know what?
I think
I'm not that guy, man. I'm not an older man. You know, I'm still a younger guy that's in pretty decent shape. And you know, I look at it as, you know, hey, the client has to get moved. You know, I mean, my reputation for me means more than anything. I will do moves for 30 days for free. I will. To keep my reputation. Because you guys that know me in the past, my reputation was bad, bro. I was notorious for some other stuff that was unreal. So now my mentality is I have to keep my reputation spotlessly clean because my word was no good. Now I've transformed my life into a different man. So now when that commitment has been made, I have to make sure that I have the appropriate people where I'm not sending scrubs out on the job. If I have to go out there stand in the back of the truck, I will. If I have to drive the truck there or whatever I need to do. But, you know, if you have and I was talking to another business owner about this. I was like, man, you know, do you have to go out in the truck every now and again? And this guy's, he's got 15, 16 trucks. He's like, Phil, you know what, dude? I am 41 years old. 41 years old. There's in my and this is how I got this process, started thinking this process, right? You bring in office personnel or whatever, they need to know that this is just not sit your ass in this office, right? They need to know. Because at the drop of a hat, we're in an industry where, hey, anything can happen, right? I mean, I didn't become successful sitting on my ass. Hey, my retirement plan is in 7 years, buddy. That retirement plan didn't come into play sitting on my ass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to come from the working background, but utilize and let it be known. Like, you know, hey, this might not happen every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, but hey, every now and again, if somebody calls out and we need a driver, dude, you may have to drive that truck. You may have to drive that truck over there to the job, you know, especially when you got an operation like mine. I mean, some days I got 40 guys going out in February. 50 guys.
I think the thing is, Phil, is it depends. I feel like it's one of those things you got to decide how you want to be. Like if you are fine, like some people that run one operation, one branch, which is completely fine because you can grow a branch really, really big.
Oh yeah.
You know, what is your day looking like? What is your what is your goal for 2024? What is your goal for the company as a whole? You know, because if you have goals and ambition, that's going to drive you to the next level of success and whatever that means to you.
Right.
But if you're getting stuck in the day to day where you got to go out on a truck because somebody didn't show, and they know that, hey, Phil's going to hop in the truck if I don't show, so they're going to be okay, then that's already a bad thing to wake up to in the morning. I used to wake up every morning thinking like, okay, hey, I want to get all this done in the office, and then a guy don't show up, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to go in the field. And that stuff is going to get pushed on the back burner, but nobody else can do that but you.
See,
You know,
that's why you make sure other people know how to do it.
You know, like who's going to process payroll on Monday? You. You know, like you know, who's going to make sure that you know, these guys are getting their tips or getting whatever they need to get that they earned. You know, unless you have another administrative staff that's up there at the same level as you that can do what you do. But not everybody's that fortunate to have somebody at that same level.
My wife. She does everything in the office anyway.
But imagine out of orders. But imagine now Melissa had to go in the field and do packing jobs while, you know, you were stuck in the office, or you had to go out and do another job. And now who's going to do anything?
Exactly. Well, you know, that's what the problem came up. You know, remember I was telling you, dude, we wasn't expecting to get such a large number of moves in January and February, man. And before I knew it, me and Melissa's out on pack job 2 or 3 days a week. I'm like, geez. Wow. Oh yeah. Now I utilize lumpers in the area, so of course, you know, it had to be kind of booked out a little bit. But man, I tell you, man, I mean, it's this business, man. This is a different kind of business, man. You know, and you gotta really know how to move around and have that ADHD, man. Right, John?
Yeah. You know, you guys both, what you were saying both resonates with me because, you know, my background, you know, I kind of helped a $1 million logistics company get to a $35 million logistics company by doing what Phil's talking about. It's like, you've got to be ready to jump, drop a hat, get out there. To this date, I don't think I've ever called a customer and told them like, hey, we're not going to make it today.
Exactly.
And very, you know, it's something I'm very prideful about that. And so it's totally resonates with me. Also, it really resonates with me what you were saying about the SEO, Phil, because I that stuff kind of pisses me off about, you know, thinking that you have to have this whole education and all that stuff to be able to effectively do that sort of thing when, you know, us standing here and talking on this call today says that, you know, we can really do anything. But also what Dwyght was saying about like getting to that next level, and it made me think about, you know, where I'm wanting to go to, you know, being that CEO that, you know, maybe I'm not in the office. And so am I going to have and I guess it's a culture thing, have that general manager, that branch manager that's going to have that same attitude, like, boom, 4 guys called out, I'm in the truck, you know, I'm out the door, and still I got to handle what's going to happen in the office just like any of us would. Yep. And so it definitely resonates with me what both you guys are saying. And it's like,
they're only going to follow what the captain is doing. Right. So if you train let's say an office manager, and that office manager, while you and that office manager is in the office, and he's like, hey, come on, man, let's go. Now you may have to go through a few people, bro. You may have to. But if he sees like, damn, this guy just goes out and jumps out in the truck, and you know what? And when you're looking at him, like, don't think that this is not going to happen every now and again, right?
Yeah.
Because we have to keep our core values, like yourself, John, of there's no customer left behind. We can't call this. We're not calling a customer, telling them. So, of course, where you're trying to get, of course, you're going to get there, right? But if you start showing, just like my guys know, like Phil, go on a job, the heaviest damn thing in the house, he want to grab it. Why? Don't know. Small guy syndrome, right? Of course. So, you know, if now we're family owned and operated though, so you know we got my son in here, we got my wife, of course, mother-in-law, father-in-law. I mean, we've got We're all family, right? Now, if my mother-in-law had to go out on a job and pack, when she usually answers the phone, guess what? It's a drop of a hat. Move it, pro. Solution. Right now, they'll catch the calls, right? It is what it is, you know. But if you make that commitment, you know, maybe you should step back and take a look at scheduling, because if you know you got 20, 30, 40 men going out that day, you need to have an extra 3 people there.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, Phil, it's one of, I think for me, I've done it. I guess me and you see it too, I guess 2 different ways, but we see it on the same level. Like I got to that point where I didn't go in the field anymore. If I went in the field, I went in the field by choice. And it's one of those things where you can cap your day off, where it's like, hey, salespeople, we can do 8 jobs a day. That's all, because that's the resources we have. We didn't have the lumpers like that to rely on. We had, you know, temp services, but you get what you get when you go do a temp service. So, so it's like, you know what, we're going to cap off at 8 jobs a day, 4 jobs in the morning, 4 jobs in the afternoon. And with that being said, hey, dispatcher, you're 50% field. So that means 50% of your workload is in the field and 50% of your workload is in the office. General manager or operations manager, you're 75-25. So 75 in the office and 25% in the field in the worst case scenario. And for me, I'm 100% out the field. You know, I'm going to focus on business development. So my day, I'm going to spend going to networking events, going to market, going to do something that's going to help elevate the business to the next level. Right. And if I don't have anything to do for that day, I'll go out in the field, you know, just to lift a couple boxes, show the guys some morale, like, hey, the owner can get out here with you as well. But, you know, at the same token, the guys know that, hey, they know I'm in the office, I'm focused on developing business. So they're going to be like, well, hey, boss, we don't need you out here for 2 hours.
Yeah, they don't want you out there anyway.
You know, yeah, we exactly. You know, we don't want you out there because, you know, we want to do some stuff that, you know, we can't do when you're out here. So, you know, so it's just
I guess some people.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you was finished. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say just know
lag. It's a lag a little bit, so I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was going to say just know where you want to go and basically set the tone for your staff to just say, hey, you know what? This is how we want to do it. Like I would even tell my staff, hey, if we got an operations manager and a dispatcher, there's no reason why customers need to get to me. So customers like, oh, I need to speak to a manager, or I need to speak to the owner. You know, I'm not satisfied. There's no way. We got too many levels of people. There's no way a customer should be able to get to me. They should talk to the operations manager. He should say, well, hey, I'm the final say so. And if there's something I don't know, I'll get back to you. He consult with you. You give him the solution, and then basically he goes back to that customer, because you don't need to spend your days on the negativity.
Yeah. I guess some people, man, just want to be, some people want to be the boss and some people don't. I don't want to be the boss. I'm going to tell you that now. I don't want to be the owner. I'm going to be honest with you. If I go on a job, I never tell a customer I'm the owner. Half of the time, I tell them I'm deaf in one ear. Because when I'm there to work, I'm there to work. Oh, that's Phil. Yeah. I'm the guy that's sweeping, because you know what? I clean our floor here in the office. I sweep it and mop it. The guy's like, oh, let me get that. I'm like, no. You go away. Right? I want to do it. Not because I can pay you to do it. Not that I don't want to pay you to do it. I want to do it. Right? Because unfortunately, sometimes, man, that's my stress relief, bro. I just want to sweep the floor. You know, a customer coming here, need storage. Oh, is there a manager here? Yeah, he's in there. I'm not the owner. I'm just the guy that I work here as well. I do not want to be the owner. I don't want to be the boss. You know, that's just, unfortunately, that's how I don't know, man. I want to be the guy to sweep the floor. I do. And I sweep and mop this floor two times a day. Right. And I had guys here in the warehouse cleaning, we're painting and all kind of crap going on this week. And the guy's like, hey, you want me to sweep and mop the lobby in there? And I'm like, no, hell no, that's my job. You got shit to do. You painting back there. I don't want to paint. I'm the cherry picker. I want to do. Because if I pull you back there, that means I got to go back there and hold that ladder.
That makes sense. Well, guys, Go ahead.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah, no, it gets good. But we want to definitely save some of this. We are at the top of the hour. I know Clifford has been taking it all in this hour. But we will be having a 50th anniversary episode, and probably about a month from now. So I'll be making some promotions where we're gonna look to have all of our past guests come back. So we hope John joins us again.
Nice.
So yeah, if people are having these virtual events, and obviously they're having a Moving Titans event coming up. Yeah, so don't if you even get your tickets for that event. The industry is doing it for you. They're dropping the gems. It's up to you to get these gems and continue to grow your business. But we're gonna have like I said, we're gonna have all our past guests come together in about a few weeks or so like that. And basically, it's going to be an hour of gem dropping. So definitely don't hesitate to join us. Cliff, do you have anything on your end?
Yeah, John, appreciate having you on. And I'll also say the most powerful thing we have is asking ourselves powerful questions as we go through our journey. And so with you having this key person leaving is a heck of an opportunity, because now you get to ask, why was that person such a key component? And have I created the systems and the processes to replace that person as quickly as possible? And if not, why not? And then the other piece, why am I in business in the first place? I think a lot of times business owners, and I respect them so much for what they do because they juggle a lot. But sometimes that reflecting moment to say, why am I doing this? Why do I even have this business? Why am I putting myself through this? Why do I have the responsibilities that I have? It allows us to reflect and create the lives that we want to create.
Anything on before we take off, John?
Me? No, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is the first time doing any sort of podcast, and it's true. Like, it does go fly by, and I think I appreciate you guys, and I'm super impressed with all three of you guys, and I am going to be at the Moving Titan thing. So if you guys are down, look forward to seeing you.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Cliff, take us home.
All right. I appreciate you all, and I respect you as owners, respect the audience for coming in, and I hope you got a lot of value through the process, a lot of golden nuggets here. And what I want to say is know your numbers. That's it. It's really that simple. We're talking about our numbers. We're talking about who do we have, our logistics, what's going to support us, what isn't going to support us. And what are we intentionally looking at? And are we looking at the right things? And even a guy with a middle school degree can learn SEO. You can become whatever the hell you want to.
They started giving degrees that young?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, boy, I got to the 7th grade, boy.
But all right, y'all. So we'll see y'all next week. Keep grinding, keep turning up, and keep growing. We'll see y'all soon.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Have a great one, everyone. Take care.